I had a local detailer come to my house and detail from their mobile rig a car before I sold it so that I could show you guys some things that I think they are doing very, very, very right and some things that I think we can improve on as detailers that'll help all of us in the professional detailing world. Now, before we get into this mobile detail job, remember this Thursday is the official live business training where I'm sharing with you guys how to scale your detailing business to 6 figures without hiring employees, without doing a bunch of paid ads, without paying for certifications, and without buying a mobile unit, a mobile van, or a nice garage. You can do it all from your own home or your own vehicle. We're going to be talking about how to scale to over $8,400 a month with your detailing business, and I only do this about once or twice a year. So register with the link in the YouTube description box below, wilsonautodetailing.com/register, and I will see you this Thursday. Now, the first thing that I want to highlight about this mobile detailing unit that they did really, really well is that they had all of their products and their chemicals ready to go, and they obviously get them from a local distributor. And what many detailers, I think, online in the social media world miss when you're starting your detailing business but learning from social media is that most of the time the chemicals and the products we hear about are the things that are popular on social media. So we hear brands like Adams and Chemical Guys and P&S, and I love all of those brands for different reasons. But for the pro detailer, one of the most efficient things you can do is simply find a either local distributor or finding chemicals and products from specific companies that sell in retailers in your specific area that specifically cater to professional detailers, because often it is way better as a professional to be able to get products in person rather than having to, number one, wait for them online, but number two, pay online prices. A lot of times the brands that have the most awareness are also the most expensive. Now, I'm not saying that is always the case, but for the pro detailer, this is one of the best things you can do. Simply have a local distributor, a local retailer where you buy these gallon-sized professional products. Now, the second thing I want to highlight that they did so right, and this is good for a solo entrepreneur as well as guys who have people working with them like these guys did, they had a clear system. Everyone knew exactly what they were doing from the get-go, and nobody had to talk to each other to figure it out, and nobody was in anybody's way. They knew what they were doing. They got to work. Nobody stumbled over hoses, stumbled over each other. They all knew their own specific jobs. Most detailers I know in the first 2, 3, 4 years of their detailing business, you'd be shocked how long they go without having a basic interior, exterior, paint correction, ceramic coating system that they follow every single time, so they're not in the moment trying to decide what they're going to do next or not going to do. Now, let me touch on a few things that I think could be improved to really ratchet up this particular mobile detailing business as well as many detailing businesses out there. The very first thing that I noticed when these guys showed up is just that there was no matching t-shirts, matching uniforms. Now, I'm not talking about cheesy uniforms where everybody has to look the exact same, but something that just makes the biggest difference from a first impression perspective is having a t-shirt that says Wilson Auto Detailing or your specific logo on it, and everybody looks similar, at least maybe the t-shirt that they're wearing. It doesn't have to be a button down or a blouse like it is in the business world. It can actually be a t-shirt, but simply having them match or be a similar logo is such a game changer. The second thing that I want to highlight here is simply an organizational comment. So one of the things that I have found from many of my customers when I was in the mobile detailing world is many of them commented and said, man, you are so organized with how you've laid things out. And what they literally meant was how I laid things out at their house when I was detailing the bins, the products, the tools, the way the pressure washer was sitting, how I unloaded and loaded things back up. It was something that was so shocking and it was unexpected that people commented on it just all the time. There wasn't a bunch of hoses laying out. I wasn't tripping over things. And when they saw how everything was organized, they thought it was interesting enough to comment on. That is something that many detailers miss. Why are we not coiling hoses? Why are we not using 27-gallon tote bins, taking things out one at a time, lining things up, keeping things on the other side of the driveway, making sure customers can get in and out of the driveway? Those small things, literally an organizational shift that takes maybe 5-10 minutes makes all the difference, enough for many customers to actually comment on it. One of my favorite things that I did when I was mostly a mobile detailer is simply a communication skill, right? Always before I showed up at the house, I wanted to text them, let them know I was on my way. I texted them as soon as I arrived, and I actually wanted to meet with them in person beforehand if I could. If they said, hey, just show up and start doing it as soon as you get here, it was no big deal. But if I could just touch base with the customer when I got there, I always wanted them to be able to put a face with a name and make sure that I could sort of establish myself as not just any other detailer, but somebody who spoke well, somebody who asked how they were doing, somebody who gave them a very quick walk around of their vehicle and a very surface level explanation of what we were going to be doing. Some simple things that most people are not going to get from detailers. I wanted to make sure that I was doing those things. Now, the last thing from just a practical detailing perspective I want to highlight here that I noticed from these guys who are actually fantastic detailers in my area is that particularly when we were washing the outside of the car, I just noticed that a lot of the microfiber towels or a lot of the wash mitts could have kind of probably been thrown away a long time before and replaced with new wash mitts. And it's one of those things that is not a big deal because you and I know as detailers we have to downgrade towels, downgrade microfiber towels, downgrade wash mitts, and use them for certain things. We can't just be throwing things away all the time. But there is sort of this visual, let's just say, judgment that happens with the customer and the detailer if I'm using a bunch of plastic bottles that are really disgusting and degraded and scratched, and I'm using a bunch of microfiber towels that look like they should be used on engines, but they're being used on the paint. Those things can sometimes damage the whole experience that the customer has. And because of that, actually, periodically, between maybe every 5 or 10 details, I would actually take all of my stuff out of my mobile rig and I would start to clean my vacuum. I would clean my extractor. I would literally spray it with APC and then follow up with something like Meguiar's spray wax so that I could keep it clean, keep it dark, keep it black. I would sometimes use solution finish on some of my tools and products just to make sure that I could deepen the black appearance so that when I was using them in a driveway, it actually showed to the customer. They could see that, oh, that looks like a new vacuum. It's not a new vacuum. I've been using it for 2 years, but it looks like a new vacuum. I want my stuff to look nice. Now, finally, I want to highlight really the biggest issue that I see with doing detailing this way more long-term, and it is this. Let's take this Prius interior exterior detail for an example. No matter how good of a mobile detailer I am, how nice my equipment is, how much experience I have, in terms of the market cap on the prices, there is an upper limit of what I'm going to be able to charge for this detail like this, no matter who I am, what I have, what market I'm in. Let's just say that it's $400. I can actually charge $400 for the interior exterior detail on a Prius like this, right? And I think that's kind of pushing the upper limits, right, of most markets, even in more affluent areas, but let's just say that's what it is. Then at most, I am going to only be able to get through X amount of cars per day, and therefore my income is really capped because of the vehicle I'm in, right? It's not necessarily detailing that's the problem. It's not my experience that's the problem. It's the market cap, right? It's the price cap on what I'm offering. And really the only way to blast this off is to start offering higher level services, more specialized services. It doesn't have to be in place of the detailing business you have right now. It can be in addition to, but without a doubt, the most efficient way to start increasing your income as a pro detailer without hiring employees, without running a bunch of paid ads, without hiring a marketing agency is to start specializing in jobs like ceramic coatings that allow you to 5x, 6x, 10x your current prices in order for you to basically work with the same or fewer amount of customers and yet increase your hourly rate, increase the value you're bringing to the table, and ultimately increase the cap on your prices. And that's why I'm hosting the live business training I'm hosting this coming Thursday at both noon and 8 p.m. Central Time. Register with the link in the YouTube description box below if this resonates with you, if you want to become a detailing entrepreneur where this business actually puts real income in your pocket. Once again, it's wilsonautodetailing.com/register. Guys, thank you so much for watching. As always, from Luke here at Wilson Auto Detailing, remember, a great detailer is always learning. Thank you guys for being involved, and I will see you in the next video.